And it is that time of morning again. Another day closer to being normal. Whatever normal is. Still cold, still got some snow all over the place. Got enough motorists out there yesterday to pack some of that loose snow down to a thin sheet of ice. It froze overnight, got really cold. Minnesota's got its share of ice problems,
Yeah.
and I'll happily swap their ice for our ice any day of the week. Good news on the weather front forecast: rain and warmer temperatures on the way. No complaints from here.
I think the warmer temperatures are coming in just a couple of hours.
They are. It's going to be warmer today, warmer than that tomorrow, and actually, it's not going to get below freezing tonight. How about that? Good morning, one and all. I'm Rayford Brown, and this is the Tuesday edition of Live and Local Real Talk. Joining me for a little while this morning.
Yep.
You got other things you got to get done too.
Yeah, I have a board meeting to run.
How do you spell board meeting? How do you spell board in board meetings?
BOARD.
Yeah, I used to cover a lot of boards.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
And you know what I call it? How I spell them? BORED.
I know.
Not your kind of boards, government boards.
It's any kind of board.
No, well, they're board too.
I'd probably.
No, your board meetings, I'm sure, are much more entertaining.
They're lively sometimes, that's for sure.
Anyway, joining me to my immediate left here is my lovely wife. You know, we've been married almost 20 years. 20 years.
Yep.
You put up with a lot in 20 years. Robbie McFarland, our Jacksonville native. And ever since we've been married, I've had more people to stop. Every time we're out for the years and years and years, I had people to stop when I was with her. They didn't know me, but they knew her. Why did they know her? They told all sorts of stories about her trying to drown them when they were teenagers.
Yeah.
Now you got to explain that part.
When I was growing up, we were one of two places that had a pool.
Yeah, your parents had a pool.
Yeah, we had a pool on the corner of Henderson and Doris, if anybody remembers that. And my mom started teaching swimming because so many people would stop and asked if we taught swimming. Because
nobody did.
And, you know, we're a boating community, basically.
And a beach community, too.
Yep. Beach, boat. And so many people would stop that she started doing swimming lessons. And by the time I was 13, when I started teaching swimming, and my mom was there, but I started teaching. And then by the time I was 15, I was running the business, and I taught lessons from 8 o'clock in the morning until dark every single day.
That side is the number of people that really, seriously.
Yeah, and I never advertised.
No,
people would just call me and call me and call me. Yeah, yeah, word of mouth.
And there was very little in the way of teaching of swimming lessons done in the area. The only one that I knew about was the brand new Jack Amyette Recreation Center, which we know where it is now and what it is. But a gentleman by the name of Jack Amyette was the city's first recreation director, as far as I know.
Yeah.
That's the first one I knew about. And that was in the 50s or early 60s.
Yep.
And he taught swimming. He himself taught swimming. But you know where he had to take us to get into the water?
To the base.
Nope.
Yep.
Beach.
I used to hate that place.
That was a little place, island between the shore and the intercoastal waterway. I mean, there were boats just on the other side of that little island, but it was protected.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lifeguard on duty,
Mm-hmm.
but he took students there to teach them to swim. That's where I learned to swim.
Yep. I used to hate that place for the same reason that I used to hate lakes, because the bottoms are so squishy.
Oh, well, yeah, but you don't put your feet on the bottom and you swim.
Well, as soon as you get far enough to get enough water under you, you can swim. But in those days, I was a twig, and so I didn't float real well.
Yeah, I had that problem in those days too. I could not float. All the people I knew could lay on their backs and just sit there and lay there and float and, you know, do what I couldn't. If I lay there and did not inhale really deeply,
yeah,
with a lot of air in my lungs, I just sink right straight to the bottom.
Yeah, me too.
I felt there was something wrong with me because everybody could float in those days. But, anyway.
Yeah, floating was the thing.
Okay, it is a Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
Okay, good. I got it right. It's going to be a busy one. Lee's not here today. She's still snowed in. Chris he's snowed out. I'm not sure. He's up there towards the Richlands area. The roads in this area are still nasty. So we're going to give you some warnings today, and we're going to tell you very shortly here about everything that's still closed is going to remain closed for a bit.
Yeah, and evidently Carteret County's the same way. 'Cause
Carteret County,
my people
Craven
that I'm
County.
board meeting with are in Carteret.
Yes,
They can't get out
they
much
can't get
either.
out. Everybody's still locked in. Cabin fever is running rampant. Just chill. Oh, that's a bad word. Just take it easy. Just take it easy.
Well, it would
will
be
get
easy
warmer.
to chill today. Just
Yeah.
walk outside if you're
Yeah.
feeling a little ruffled.
I saw one more snow person yesterday at the end of the block here. It was also pretty sad.
Mhm.
This is not snow that was made for building snow peoples. It was not made for rolling up snowballs. I tried to do one and it came apart in midair.
Yep.
It just, it's gorgeous if you have to have fluff. That's fine, but you need a little wet snow
Yeah.
to be able to do anything. with.
Yesterday, was it yesterday? Whatever day it was that I was getting the snow off the top of the dome or that had
was
sunk in.
Sunday. I think.
Sunday. The top part I could get with a bucket
Mhm.
because it was so light. I could just get it off. And then by the time I got down to the bottom and it was slush,
Yes.
the snow just above that would
No.
pack.
Yeah.
And that was it. Probably a 2-inch layer right across the top of the slush.
Yeah. That the slush down below was because the heat from the inside our impromptu greenhouse dome.
We
whatever
call
you
it
wanna
a dome.
call
It started out as a tiny dome.
Tiny, very tiny for one plant.
So the name stuck.
100-year-old plant.
Yeah.
That you've carried all over everywhere.
Well,
It's a tropical plant.
it's 60 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tropical plant.
It is. It's a house plant.
Yes. So we had to build a house for it.
Yep.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Well, just in the winter when it's really, really cold.
Well, it's been really, really, really cold. So anyway, Robbie's going to be with me for a few minutes this morning. Then she's got to go
Start my meeting.
beat up a computer. I beat up one this morning already, and Lee talked me through how to go live on Facebook. It's been a long time since I had to do all that myself, and then I had to switch over to go live on YouTube at the same time.
There's a lot of things that frustrate you.
Yes, there are. I've got other things that I do and I do well. Little things like that are pain. Give me a 10,000 watt transmitter out there and I will make it work. I'll get us on the air.
Yep.
I've done it many times.
Yeah.
6,000 watt generator. Anyway, I did. When it was off the air, I got it back up and operating several times. Not a problem.
Well, I remember when we first got married and I was working with computers and you would come in 5 times a day or 5 times in an hour. How do I do this? 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 And I used to laugh and say, how can you run a station without knowing
I
how
didn't
to
run
use
the
a
station.
computer?
I just ran the biggest part of the station, the news operation.
That's right.
And that's where all the computers were.
Yep.
Now, we were given computers. We were hooked up with computers, and we had an IT guy. It's he's a geek, and he did his stuff. He knows his stuff. He did the hardware. When we ordered computers, we ordered blank computers. There were no programming on them. There were no Windows on them. There was nothing on them. He put everything on them the way he wanted us to have it. And the first requirement that I had, the reason he started doing it, because I said, I want you to remove solitaire and any games and block them from being available on any computers that belong to this news department.
Mm-hmm.
He said, that's a good idea. So he started ordering them blank,
Mm-hmm.
and he put all of the software on. And that way we always had the latest software because he always kept the latest software.
But the bottom line here was that you had somebody to do it
The
for you.
bottom line was, and he told me one time, he was on the phone intercom or whatever, when I said, I've got this issue here. He said, just hit F11. I said, F11. He said, yeah, just keep punching F11, F11, F11. And I said, hey, that worked. So at that point in time, his name became
F11.
F11. So when I had a problem, I didn't call him. I paged him overhead.
F11.
F11 newsroom now. And then he would come and run it. That's the way it worked. And he did it all.
That's funny.
I can't get this thing to have a period. And at the end of the sentence, what do? Hit F11.
Is this somebody that I know?
I don't know that you ever met him, but you may have. But anyway, he's a great guy. He is an IT guy that could relate to me. He understood me. And he said, don't touch my computers.
It's kind of like Jeff.
Yeah, don't do anything to it that I don't tell you to do first. So then it came time I had to load software. I said, what in this? How do you just hit these things, follow the instructions? I don't follow instructions well. Sorry. That's a deficiency on my part. It's okay. I do other things.
Because you have to be in charge.
I create instructions for other people to follow.
That's right.
So anyhow, that's the whole story with all of that. But I survived it, and it's just like the snow. We're getting there, and I'm sure there are people out there. My granddaughter, when she was a child, could do better with the computers than I could. I think most people my age's grandchildren can do better with computers.
Oh,
than
yeah.
we can.
Yeah, Susie calls her grandsons whenever something screws up. Actually, Finn, because he's the computer
and
geek.
those grandsons are,
and they come over and they laugh at her and fix it.
Yeah, and those grandsons are the people that I was there when they were born. Oh Lord,
Hobbs, not I don't. Well, we were there pretty close after.
We were there
Finn,
for several,
yeah.
right shortly thereafter. Anyway, okay, let's do some nitty gritty stuff. Some stuff you need to know. It's going to have to come first. All Onslow County offices and facilities remain closed to the public today. Got it? This is due to lingering impacts from winter weather conditions across the area. In case you don't know what those were, where have you been? Those lingering impacts include large and pretty significant patches of ice, water that refroze when temperatures dropped again last night. That ice, much of it virtually undetectable until you're sliding towards a ditch, a tree, or another car, is what's out there today. The temporary curfew for the unincorporated areas of Onslow County ended yesterday. While the curfew has been lifted, residents are strongly encouraged by the county to stay off the roadways unless absolutely necessary. The road to getting back to normal works a lot smoother when folks honor the request to limit their time on the highways. This helps road crews get rid of the white mess and helps us get back to normal. Our cooperation with this effort will reduce roadway congestion and improve overall safety. Secondary roads remain particularly hazardous, and any snow that melts during the daytime will likely refreeze overnight, but not tonight because the temperature tonight's low is going to be about 40. Let's explain. I watched one of those plows, the impromptu, a big truck that they put a snow plow or a plow, a blade in front of it yesterday. He was hitting Piney Green Road and he was passing by here and he was probably running 35, 40 miles an hour. Now, for the rest of us out there trying to meander around on this ice patch, we're going to be running maybe 10 or 12 or 14, or we're going to be pulling out in front of him, or we're going to slow him down. It's going to take him longer to get the job done that we want him to get done. Stay off the road. Wait till it's finished.
And as of the time I saw outside, there was only one lane plowed.
Yep.
So getting around anything is dangerous.
Yeah, and so just stay home for a while. It'll get better. Along with helping municipal crews with removing snow from the city streets, the North Carolina Department of Transportation, they have crews out there clearing and treating highways. They're putting the brine down. That helps melt the ice. And this will help keep first responders and emergency personnel safe as they respond to emergency situations. Okay. Those things are going to continue. There are going to be people who have issues at home. They're going to need help. So that's good. Let's give them the opportunity to get their jobs done. All right. Without creating more problems for the first responders. Sightseers, stay home. Look at it on TV. Go to the backyard.
Or walk.
Whatever. Or walk around your neighborhood. You might even meet a neighbor or two. Build a snowman. Take pictures and send it to us. Oslo County officials will continue to monitor the conditions and share updates as services and operations resume. Essential services will remain operational. Residents in need of county services during the closure may contact the Citizen Phone Bank. Get your pencil out. 910-989-5027. I'm sure Lee's writing that down from home right now and should be posting it on our Facebook page shortly. That's the Citizen Phone Bank. The Citizen Phone Bank here in Oslo County. The number is 910-989-5027. They'll screen the calls and get them to the right people that are needed to go out, because you're not going to have direct contact with the right people from your home phones.
So it's like calling a dispatcher.
It's calling a dispatcher. Citizens are encouraged to follow Oslo County's official communication channels and the legitimate local news media outlets for the latest information. You might want to shy away from the word of mouth folks who play that old game of gossip with tidbits of information they usually didn't understand when they heard it, and they really screw it up when they repeat it.
Oh, but that's the fun part of Facebook.
No, not when it comes to providing information. Okay, real quick, like, you need to get started and get in there, don't you?
No.
Oh, you don't? Okay, good.
I got it up.
Okay, we got some weather to do here, and then we got some more information to get you, and I got some kind of important stuff, particularly if you residents of Jacksonville who are asking, what about my garbage? I got this. I got the scoop on it, so hang in there. The rain forecast is looking better now that the mean old nor'easter has moved on. Today, offshore westerly winds 5 to 10 knots, light breeze, becoming southwesterly 10 to 15 this afternoon. Seas 2 to 4 feet, 13 seconds apart. They're not big, they're far apart, looking pretty good. Sounds and rivers of light chop, increasing to a moderate chop in the afternoon. Wednesday, the westerly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 3 to 5, 2 to 4 near shore, sounds and rivers, a moderate chop. Thursday, northerly winds 15 to 20 with gusts to 25. Thursday is not going to be your day. Gust up to 25 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet, 2 to 4 near shore, sounds and rivers are going to be choppy. Now, today, increasing clouds. Increasing clouds. What does that mean? A high near 47 degrees. 47 degrees today. Holy moly. Light southwesterly winds 5 miles per hour this afternoon. Tonight, a chance of rain. That's about sometime around midnight or thereafter. Mostly cloudy with a low around 35 to 40. Depends upon where you are. 50% chance of a little bit of rain overnight. Then Wednesday, rain. High near 47. Light and variable wind becoming westerly about 6 miles per hour in the morning. That chance of rain, 80%. Those are good odds. 8 out of 10 chances it's going to rain on you tomorrow. Hopefully, with warmer temperatures, that nasty old white stuff will just go away. Wednesday night, rain likely before 1 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. Then a chance of rain or freezing rain. You're not going to like this, between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. Then a chance of snow and freezing rain after 4 a.m. That's Wednesday night going into Thursday morning.
They're going to change that.
Cloudy with a low around 27. Shooters, load your guns. You start seeing snowflakes, start shooting them. I'm kidding. Thursday,
because that would be very dangerous.
Thursday, a 30% chance of snow after 7 a.m., partly sunny with a high near 40. It ain't going to be any accumulation of any kind. You may see some flurries, you may see some dusting, you may see whatever, but unless something really major changes, we're going to be one and done after this wet stuff comes in here tomorrow.
But that's really kind of the most dangerous, because people don't expect it.
That's right.
And then it'll get icy and they don't know it. They'll be driving along and all of a sudden they're sliding all over the place.
Yeah, the low could be as low as 27, but just wait for it to go away. And pay attention. The folks at the counties and the county government and all of the surrounding counties and the cities, they will let you know when it's fairly safe to get outside. Okie dokie. Now, let's get on down here. At neighboring Craven County, the story is much the same. And it's pretty much it is in Carteret County, too. They got the same situation there. There's still plenty of snow around to make travel irritating, if not downright dangerous. The Craven County Government facilities still closed for all non-essential personnel. The roads, many of them are not particularly safe. Road crews are working diligently to get things back to normal. They can do a better and faster job if we will just stay home drinking our hot chocolate or coffee. Chocolate chip cookies are great with hot chocolate. I can tell you that from firsthand experience. You can check back later this afternoon. You'll likely get some good information from the Craven County government folks in time to make plans for Wednesday. For the city of Jacksonville, here you go. Pretty much the same as for Onslow and Craven counties with some much needed information for you. So listen up and pay attention. City offices and facilities closed today. Passport services not available at City Hall nor at the Center for Public Safety. Jacksonville recreation facilities closed today. Build a snowman. Don't worry about it. Jacksonville sanitation. This is where all of us have questions. Sanitation services are suspended again today. They will resume on Wednesday. Now, here's some stuff that's important. In the city of Jacksonville this week, get your pen and paper. If your regular pickup is on a Monday, collection will be tomorrow. There's no collection today.
Wednesday.
Will be Wednesday. If your pickup was Monday, your collection will be Wednesday. Now, here's where it's going to get tricky. If your regular pickup day is today, Tuesday, it won't be until Friday this week, the 5th. Thursday's pickup will remain on Thursday.
Yep.
Okay, and I'm going to do that again for you. If your trash was supposed to be picked up on Monday, it's not going to be picked up today either. It will be tomorrow. They'll pick up the Monday trash on Wednesday. Tuesday trash will be picked up on Friday. Thursday trash will be normal. It will be picked up on Thursday. Is that fairly simple?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to pick up any yard debris, so don't put it out there.
You just ignore everything except yours. So that means we're Friday.
Yep, we got Friday. All right, so good. Please place your trash bin near the street so the sanitation crews can wheel them to their trucks. Here's the thing. There will be some probably tomorrow, and especially in the morning, there will be snow piled up along the edges of the road. I don't know how much automated pickup they're going to be doing with their little trucks that come
With
by.
their arms.
Yeah, with the arms. So they will be wheeling. Just put the trash as close to the road as you can. Do not put it in the roadway. Do not block traffic. They are not going to get up and pick up your spilled trash when other cars driving overnight run into it.
If you're not going in and out your driveway, you could stick it right at the base of your driveway.
If you're going to do that, you can stick it right there, wherever you can. But just don't put it on the right of way. Don't put it out there where somebody's going to hit it. Some streets have limited travel lanes open. Like right now, we got one lane, and it's in the middle of the road. It's not even a lane here in the neighborhood, which is pretty much the case. Yesterday, when I went to the doctor that wasn't there, I came back and I met one car on Country Club Drive. So I could pull further over to the right than he could because he had a little car short and low to the ground, dumpy car, and I could get mine off most of the road. So I gave him most of the one lane of traffic. So the Jeep higher, and he can handle that stuff.
I had thought about switching doctors to your doctor.
Yeah.
And after what they didn't do for you, I may not do that.
Well, we'll see. They got some good people over there. Some streets have limited travel lanes, so the sanitation crews are going to be more engaged than on normal days. So when you pass them or you get around them, remember that instead of just one big old truck there picking up stuff, you may find a lot of little guys running around wheeling these carts back and forth. Slow your butt down. Stay home. Do something. Don't get out there and interfere with the trash crews. We don't want you messing with those guys. They're important because when the sun comes out and it warms up, it's going to be stinking if you don't let it get picked up. Right? We've seen that before. Airports in the region are, as best we can tell, open for business. However, before zipping over with your handy little tickets, you might want to check with your airlines, not the airports, to get the latest information on your trips. Might be nice and clear here or wherever you're flying from and perfect weather for flying from an Eastern North Carolina airport, but you might not have a flight that will be able to land wherever your destination ticket wants to take you. Call your airlines to get the latest information. I would rather wait at home than to wait in some distant airport sitting there on the floor with all the other people who are stranded because they can't get to their destinations. I'd rather stay home than do that. I don't like those. Been there, got that t-shirt. Whatever they tell you is orders from headquarters. When you talk to the operators at the airport, airlines, not the airport, don't call the airport. When you call your Delta or US Air or whoever, American Airlines, whenever you call your airlines, these are people that are just passing along information that they have. Don't get mad with them. And please don't keep them tied up on the phone with petty, stupid little complaints about missing your second cousin's baby shower because of the weather that they can't do anything about. Sorry, we can't help you with that. Just get the information and say thank you and then get on and rebook. Best thing to do.
Yep.
Just don't take it out on them. They got other people with real issues. All right, let's talk about the weather around Onslow County right now, or over the past 2 hours. Randy out there in the Southwest this morning, one of the members of the Onslow Amateur Radio Club. By the way, if you want to consider becoming a ham and you would just like to get a little bit more information, you can come by as a visitor this weekend, Saturday. The roads will be clear. At the Emergency Operations Center over there in the Commons. Just look for that big, tall 400-foot tower and go to the base of it, and you'll find several doors. Where do you go? Just find the cars with a bunch of antennas on them. That'll be a bunch of hams that'll be there. Meeting time is at 9 a.m. Come in. You can ask questions, sit in, introduce yourself, talk to the hams after the meeting, do whatever. So you might get an idea. It might be something you want to do. If you've recently relocated or located in this area, that's where we're having the meetings. The Onslow Amateur Radio Club, first Saturday in every month at 9 a.m. at the Emergency Operations Center in the county. Randy had 14 degrees this morning at Southwest. It was 92% humidity, calm wind. In other words, nothing in the rain gauge. Joe in the borough, he was wrapped under covers. He's been ailing just a little bit. He's a little under the weather. It was 16 in Swansboro, 92% humidity. He had no wind at the time, but it had come from the northeast, a light breeze earlier, and his barometric pressure was 30.13. Lee and the back swamp area, our other ham Lee, it was 11 degrees there this morning, 97% humidity, no wind, no rain, 30.01 inches in the rain gauge. The barometric pressure, 30.01 inches. That would be a lot of rain, wouldn't it? Lee, our very own Lady Blue in the Woodlands, 15 degrees it was, 90% humidity, no wind, no rain. River Bend area, that's where we found Carol and Dale, 13 degrees, 95% humidity, calm, clear blue sky, and it was dark at the time. Nothing in the rain gauge. Ward at Cedar Point, he had the hot spot of the area, 27 degrees this morning. He got warmth off the.
I was going to say, this is where you got all that water helps you out.
Waterway, yeah.
Yep.
60% humidity. He had very light northeasterly winds, nothing in the rain gauge, 30.35 inches of mercury. Another wave, Brian also reporting in from Swansboro, right around the corner from Joe. It was 19 degrees at his place, 65% humidity, calm, 29.96 inches of mercury. Here at the studio in Country Club, it was 11 degrees this morning. What is it now?
It is 11 now.
Still 11 degrees. It's cold out there, 99% humidity. No wind. We still have no wind. So no wind, and barometric pressure has been rising. It was 30.33. It's going to hang in there pretty close, 30.32 inches of mercury. Now let's go on up to Massachusetts. Brewster, Massachusetts. A gentleman named Barry, another ham radio operator up there this morning, checked in. It was 24 degrees in Brewster, Massachusetts this morning.
They're warmer than we are.
Yeah. He said it was beautiful weather, clear. Still had 12 inches remaining on the ground in Massachusetts this morning. So that's a look at the weather around the area. Here's one. I started telling you about it last night. In San Francisco, that little friendly city by the bay over there.
Mm-hmm.
Some police there have had a spree of criminal activity. They're busting what they call a bunch of drug and gambling dens. I want you to listen to this now. They started raiding what they're calling drug and gambling dens. I didn't know they had such places, but apparently they've been operating in San Francisco for quite a while. I'm surprised.
I think they've been operating everywhere for quite a while.
Those gambling and drug dens, at least 9 so far, were masquerading as convenience stores, all located in what they're calling a notorious downtown neighborhood, long associated with illicit activity and homelessness. But they look like convenience stores. At least 9 such dens have been shut down or sued over the past 18 months in the Tenderloin area. Police said the stores engaged in a boatload of illegal activities, including gambling operations, selling illegal drugs, possessing guns, trafficking in stolen goods, and violating the city's nighttime safety ordinance, which prohibits shops from operating during late hours in an effort to keep nighttime criminal activity down. You don't want anybody robbing your 7-Eleven stores at nighttime, then don't make them 7-Eleven stores. Have them open during the day only, or whatever. I guess that's the way San Francisco deals with it. It didn't work because these places were still operating. Police discovered illegal gambling operations, with police seizing numerous slot machines, up to 11 from one location.
So the gambling is slot machines.
That was some of the gambling. They got money counting machines. They were counting money.
Mm-hmm.
The cops also seized significant amounts of cash, $17,000 from one store. In one search, the cops found methamphetamine hidden beneath a display shelf. They got seizures of cannabis, vape cartridges, and hundreds of glass pipes and Brillo pads, items commonly used to smoke methamphetamine and crack cocaine. Wow. Brillo pads at a convenience store, but not to be scrubbing anything. Weird. Hiding in plain view. All this stuff was. Authorities said the convenience stores were used to fence stolen goods. They recovered merchandise still bearing original price tags from major retailers.
Mm-hmm.
People, shoplifters, were fencing the stuff that they stole with this company, with these stores.
And they just stick it
Fences.
on the shelves.
Stick it on the shelf. Still got the Target stickers on them in other stores. Some of the contraband included out-of-state cigarettes, illegal to bring into the state. 17, I didn't think that was still a thing, but apparently it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, New York used to be infamous. Well, they got tractor-trailer loads of cigarettes from North Carolina because they didn't have taxes on it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you could buy a pack of cigarettes here for 15 cents if you bought a carton, 15 cents a pack. Selling it in New York for $5 a pack in those days.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't have the tax stamps on them from that New York required. So people were getting caught with that all the time. But anyway, they seized out-of-state cigarettes and 17 stolen iPhones, and they were on display. They'd been stolen, and they were put out there on display for sale. I got one handgun with several loaded magazines. What would you expect? The dope dealers and all those big-time gamblers with all that money hanging around,
Mm-hmm.
would you go in there without a gun? No. 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 In a convenience store, I think I'd be protecting my investments as well. Up on the Outer Banks, sad story continues, but it's Mother Nature continuing to clean up. 4 more houses on the beach have been claimed by the rough seas and winds from the weekend. All 4 homes that collapsed were unoccupied and were privately owned. Those homes are the first to collapse on the Outer Banks this calendar year. 16 collapses in Buxton and Rodanthe in late 2025. According to the Cape Hatteras National Seashore, 31 privately owned homes have collapsed on seashore beaches since 2020, because of coastal erosion. Years of coastal flooding and beach erosion have steadily degraded beaches in the area. Homes that once stood hundreds of feet from the shoreline, the ocean, you had to walk several hundred feet to get to the ocean from your front porch. Now
Yeah.
they're in the surf, battered by the ocean and left damaged or in pieces.
They're barrier islands.
Mother Nature is reclaiming the beachfront. Now, folks, this obviously is nothing new. It's been going on for quite some time. These homes, it didn't just happen overnight. They've been damaged to the point that they've been unoccupied for a while. So why didn't you take them down? Because the insurance would not pay you to take them down.
Yeah.
You have to sit there, even regardless of what's going on. If you got a mortgage on it, you're still paying on the mortgage. The bank's not going to reclaim it. They don't want it. Your mortgage company doesn't want that dilapidated home.
What about the toxic materials in the homes?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
All of the stuff that's not only that they supposedly were cleaned out as they were abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? But here's the problem too. They don't let people in the waters up there around that area. Why? Those homes that are coming apart, they got nails in them. They got, oh my God, screws in them, loose stuff in them. They're coming apart.
Asbestos.
Probably some asbestos there. You've got everything in the water. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Now that stuff doesn't just stay there in front of that where that house went down. It's up and down the entire coastline there.
Mm-hmm.
They're finding stuff miles away.
And we wonder why our oceans are polluted.
Oh well, they're polluted. It's a shame, but once the house is completely destroyed and down, then the insurance company will pay you for what it was worth, which I don't know how that works. How much was it worth at the time it collapsed?
Wasn't worth too much if you weren't living in it and nobody else was renting it.
I don't know how the insurance company gets by with that one. I don't know how they explain it. Mm. Do you pay what the original value was before it went downhill?
Not usually, because they reevaluate them every so often.
I don't know. That's we're going to get our insurance commissioner on here. Lee, I'm sure, is probably listening. This would be a great question for him.
Yep.
How do the insurance companies appraise and determine how much money they're going to give you once that house falls into the ocean?
Yep.
By its original value, by its highest peak value, by its value at the time it went overboard, underwater?
Well, if that were the case, if you didn't want your house anymore and nobody would buy it because it was too expensive, you could just leave it there forever.
And just
let it rot away and fall down.
And then collect the insurance.
Uh-huh.
But the problem is you're still probably, some of those houses may still be paying mortgages on it.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
I don't know.
I don't know. Outer Banks. Well, I don't know.
Building homes on barrier islands or near the shore, as we have learned here, it's kind of dangerous. I've mentioned this guy before and had a couple of naysayers who were just who said something bad about him. His name is Orrin Pilkey, Dr. Orrin Pilkey. He was from Duke University. He studied Iron Coastline here in North Carolina and paid particularly attention to the southern part of North Carolina, the area from Onslow Beach, what used to be West Onslow Beach, now it's North Topsail Beach. From there down to down to the state line. Paid a lot of attention there in New Hanover County to the beaches in New Hanover. Things were washing away. They've moved a memorial down there at Fort Fisher. They've done all sorts of stuff. We know up on the Outer Banks there at Hatteras, they moved the Hatteras Lighthouse.
Yeah.
I think it's been moved twice. His current resting place moved there, 20 years ago, 25 years ago or something. That was a major project.
Yeah. I did a project on the Outer Banks for something. And when I was looking at all the research, I actually found that the lower part of North Carolina, that area of North Carolina is building up, even though it may move.
Yeah,
the northern area of North Carolina, the Outer Banks there are collapsing. The whole shelf is collapsing because at some point there was a tectonic plate underneath all of those islands that
Closer
held them
in.
up.
Yep.
And the northern piece of it split off and slid out into the ocean. So that whole area is sinking.
Have you ever heard of the Seneca guns?
No.
Okay, let me refresh you. Folks out there, you probably have it. And we notice it a lot down further south. There will be times, and you would think, my God, are we having an earthquake, or are do we have warships offshore shooting at us, or what? It sounded like major explosions. Around here, it sounds kind of normal because we hear the big howitzers out
guns
here
all the
in
time,
Hubert.
yeah.
We don't know whether it's, I'm assuming that's what it is, but they're part of the plates way offshore were collapsing.
Yep.
And that set up not sonic booms, but it set up very loud booms up into the atmosphere. And you could hear it. And there were all sorts of reports, people say, and then you could feel some shaking. People would go quickly, oh my God, we're having an earthquake. Oh, it's the
Well, it
Seneca
is
guns.
kind of like seismic activity.
Yeah, it is sort of like
I mean,
that.
because that's what happens underground as the plates are moving.
Splits and do whatever. But but it's way offshore. And I've diving, and so you divers out here diving along if you've dove along Onslow Beach with the bayside there, Mile Hammock Block area, moving out from there, you go along and the water may be 12 feet deep. And then because there's a rock, and then on the other side of that rock, that piece of that rock is caved in, has fallen.
Yeah.
We dove, my dive buddies and I, we dove that many times in the 60s. You'd find big chunks there where it had collapsed.
Yeah.
One of my buddies found and he was more curious about this stuff than we were. He found a something there. It looked calcified. It looked like a piece of wood, but he brought it up. It turned out to be prehistoric. I forgot how many millions of years old that had been preserved. And he sent it to a friend of his who was a lab guy down in Texas. And he sent it back and he carbon dated it. It was millions of years old.
Wow.
Right there. So there were obviously trees or something out there at one time. And that was a mile or 2 mile, 3 miles offshore. I can't remember exactly where we picked it up. But yeah, those plates do shift. They do fall.
Yep. They shift and then the water table rises.
By the way, we're wide open for calls this morning. You want to chat about anything before we continue? 910-333-0139. 910-333-0139. I'm Rayford Brown, and filling in for a couple of other people this morning, doing the job of 2 people this morning, is my wife, Robbie. So
Who will not be here but a few more minutes.
So if you want to ask her a question about anything in particular, she's the smart one of the group. She retired from the higher education field of teaching people stuff and running operations in community colleges and elsewhere. You did all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and not just here in Onslow County, though she was born in Onslow County and she's returned to her roots, as they say.
Yep.
Born aboard Camp Lejeune.
Yeah, I was born at the Naval Hospital.
That's what it used to be called, y'all. Not the Naval Medical Research Facility or whatever. It was hey, we're going to Naval. Yeah, well, we know where you're going. You're going to the hospital. Was Susie, your sister, born there too?
Yes.
Okay, so your dad was in the Marine Corps, of course, and since retired. Wow, it's a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
And you survived the water because you lived aboard the base too.
Yep. Well, for a period of time, yeah.
In the very early stages. But y'all left the base in what, the mid-50s? You moved into Henderson Drive?
I
56?
don't remember much about the timing, but I was 6 when we rented a house on Dogwood Lane in Northwoods.
Yeah.
And then right after that was when the house was built on Henderson and Doris that we
Gotcha.
moved into.
All right.
And we, our family owned that for ages.
The man accused of gunning down an Alabama high school cheerleader at a bonfire party and shooting 3 other people while one of those victims tried to shield the cheerleader. He was arrested, but he's been released from jail on bond. Stephen Tyler Whitehead, charged with murder in the death of 18-year-old Kimber Mills and attempted murder for wounding 3 other people. He bonded out of the Jefferson County Jail Thursday last week after a judge set his bond at $330,000. He's charged with murder, 1 count, 3 counts of attempted murder, and they released him on bond. Waiting trial. I'm not understanding. And this is in Alabama. Maybe they're going to take care of justice while he's out on bond. I don't know. A condition of his release, Whitehead must wear an electronic monitoring device and he must not shoot anyone else. The accused came to a bonfire party in a wooded area last year. Witnesses said the gathering turned violent after Whitehead arrived shortly after midnight and became involved in a verbal and physical confrontation before pulling out a gun and opening fire. The cheerleader, 18 years old, she died. 3 other people wounded. And now he walks among the people of Alabama awaiting his trial. Anybody out there in Las Vegas want to take some odds on this one and how long before some more bad stuff goes down involving this guy? I'm reasonably sure there got people there in Alabama that don't like him. I don't, and I really don't even know him. But I don't like him. I don't like the judicial system for turning him loose. Number one, it's dangerous for him. You know, as much as you don't like scumbags like that, they're supposed to get a fair trial, and releasing them on bond after charging him with murder and 3 counts of attempted murder is not doing justice any favors. That's not the way the system works. It's much better to go ahead and try him, get all the information out, and then, you know, if the state of Alabama wants to execute him, go for it. They want to put him in prison for the rest of his life without benefit of parole, without the possibility of parole, go for it. You know, whatever. Stocks and bonds, go for it. Stocks and bonds, stocks. Tie him up. Put him in stocks. Go for that. I don't care. But, you know, do it the legal way. If that's in your scheme, that's the way it needs to be done. 910-333-0139. 910-333-0139. Robbie has taken her leave. She's got a few minutes to get her stuff together, and I appreciate her coming in this morning. I'm sure Lee and the roads should be clear for tomorrow, so Lee's going to be in. I did get to be able to get out a little bit, but drove around the neighborhood just to see what it was like, and had to go to the doctor yesterday. I got a call from a doctor for a earlier setup appointment last week. First, I got a text message. I responded to it. Yep, I'm going to be there. Then I got a phone call Friday. Yep, I'll be there. Very good. And then started snowing Saturday and then Sunday, of course. And I kept waiting for somebody to say, no, your Tuesday appointment, no, Monday appointment has been canceled. Whatever. No, didn't get that call. Tried to call them several times Monday, yesterday, and got no answer. Got a recording device, but did not say anything about them being closed or checked their website, nothing. Left a couple of messages assuming that they might call me back and say, yeah, come on in, or no, we're out, but never had contact with them whatsoever. So reading their policies on their website, if you don't show up for your appointment, we're going to charge you $50, and you won't be able to make another appointment until you pay your $50 for not showing up for the appointment that you missed. Okay. So I drove over. Parking lot was clear. They had a little front end loader scraping all the ice and snow away. They had it done. Several people had parked there. One couple got out and walked into the building. So I said, okay, well, maybe they are open. So I walked in, opened the door to go into the office. Well, that was locked. Nobody was there. It was dark. So obviously they were not there. And it's now 7:50 on Tuesday morning. And I'm waiting for a call or a text message or an email. It's not like I am out of contact. Just a little complaint this morning. So should I take them a bill? So, I mean, if I had missed my appointment, it would have cost me $50 to be able to, before I could even make another appointment. Now, if they miss my appointment, do I get to charge them? What do you think? I mean, they had people calling me and texting me last week to make sure I was coming. Couldn't I have these same people calling or texting me or emailing me or, sending a carrier pigeon out or something and telling me, no, we're closed. We're not going to be able to do it. We'll call you and we'll set up another appointment when we're back in the office. I would assume that somebody has access to all of their records at some location, either from home or they have multiple locations for the same business, by the way, in North Carolina. So what would you do? What do you guys think? I mean, I feel for them. I know they got patients. I'm not sure how many patients that they see in one day, but it's a big operation. What do you think? Have you had that experience? 910-333-0139. Or are doctors more important? Their time more important than mine, obviously, which I can understand. Just didn't make me feel good. The lemon that CNN had, now ex-CNN doofus, Don Lemon, he got some advice following his arrest last week. Lemon faces federal charges of interrupting a church service in Minnesota. He and another so-called journalist were live streaming when protesters, seemingly on cue, rushed into the church to protest the fact that ICE agents were looking for illegal aliens. Federal prosecutors claimed the journalists participated in a takeover-style attack of that church and intimidated members of the congregation. Lemon told other real reporters who would listen that he was given some serious advice by a really important has-been, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. He claims she told him that he was going to become the face for the First Amendment as he moves forward through this upcoming trial. Really? One old has-been giving advice to a never was much of anything person. Donnie, you might not want to put a lot of faith in Nancy's advice. Listen to your lawyers and make the best deal you can, the one that you're comfortable with, to stay out of the big boy's prison. Or maybe you want to go there and you could do some interviews and you could enjoy their company. At his appearance in court to hear the charges last Friday, CNN reported that Lemon's husband was sitting in the courtroom watching the proceedings. Don't make them up. Just report them. Now, big news here is concerning, obviously. I've been checking, waiting to see if there's any last-minute updates. Police in Arizona, they're investigating the disappearance of NBC's Savannah Guthrie's mother as a possible kidnapping. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was last seen Saturday night at her residence north of Tucson after family members dropped her off at home about 9 o'clock or so. Savannah Guthrie is the co-host of the Today Show on NBC. In a tightly controlled statement, the sheriff says he believes Ms. Guthrie was taken by force from her home and may have been injured during the abduction. He didn't give any details. A neighbor notified the sheriff's office last Sunday when Ms. Guthrie did not show up for church. Apparently very unusual for the 84-year-old lady. The sheriff said the victim was not in the best of health. She has some physical issues and he has all hands on deck effort to find her, hopefully safe. He said they're really concerned for her safety. She's taking medications that she needs, and if she doesn't get them, then that could cause more serious problems for her as well. Who goes in, stalks, waits for an 84-year-old lady to be left alone at her home? I mean, how did they know this? I obviously went in sometime after 9:30 or 9 o'clock at nighttime when she was dropped off. Were they watching? Was this an inside job? Did somebody have some information? No reports of anybody calling and, we're going to return her, but only when you give us a certain amount of money. I mean, do we need to have guards if you're, I don't know whether it has anything to do with her daughter's stardom, if you will. She is a pretty big name on NBC on the Today Show. Samantha Guthrie, been there a number of years, and she's very qualified individual, by the way. Can't say that about some of the predecessors from there. But what do we do? How can we safeguard 84 years old at her home and living alone? There are lots of 84-year-old people very spry. My mom at 84, she lived alone for as long as we could let her live alone. And she was probably, 87, 88, 89 years old when we had to get full-time assistance for her. Don't know. Don't have a clue. But anyway, that's a tragic situation that's going on. Good morning. It's Live and Local.
Good morning. It's Lee.
Hello, Lee. How you be?
Yeah, I heard you talking about that Savannah Guthrie, her mother's story. That is so bizarre.
How do you deal with that? First of all, who would do it? What would be the game?
I don't know. I was watching the press conferences yesterday on it, and they were saying that, there's evidence that something happened.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why they're calling it, a crime or whatever. But that is such a bizarre story. And I sure hope they're able to find her, but makes you wonder. I checked in and looked at her family history, and she's got siblings, but they all seem to be, really good people. So it's just really strange. It's so sad.
Yeah, it is sad. I'm just like, some of us, your mom was elderly. I had one. My mom was elderly, and she lived the last few years after my dad died. She lived in 10 years or so. Well, not she lived that long. She lived 8 years, but all but the last couple of years, she lived alone.
Right.
She was 90
it's
something.
really strange that she's missing from the house,
Yes.
but all her personal stuff is still there.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's really strange. But I see you have another caller. I'll let you take that, and then I'll call you back.
I have another caller.
Yeah, I thought you did. Did you? I thought I saw the light blinking.
You see the light blinking?
I thought I saw you reach over and hit for another call.
No.
If there's not another one, then I'll just stay talking.
I was just scratching my ear. Okay, what are the conditions like in your neighborhood? Have you even left your house?
No, my driveway's still full of snow. I'm not worried about that. Somebody came by and plowed yesterday. I don't think it was DOT. It was just somebody in a pickup truck plowing. But
It's probably the city. I think the city's been doing some of the city streets.
Could be. I checked I've been checking reports all morning long on your socialist media. Somebody just posted a picture of Western, and it's pretty iced up.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister said she came in from Midway Park, and she said it was treacherous. She said Western Boulevard was the worst, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, when that stuff, when people drive on it like they have done yesterday and perhaps some on Sunday, it packs that really light snow, because that was the fluffiest snow I think I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah.
It packs it right down, and it's and when it packs it down, it melts. It compacts it and it melts, but then it refreezes immediately.
Right. Well, I managed to get the truck cleaned off yesterday and let it run a little bit. Made a path at the back door for the dogs, and they're still, well, the little one loves it. The bigger one is like, nope, not going out. My back door is still stuck, so I need to get out today and try to get it opened and get the patio cleaned off and make another path for the dogs.
You want some advice?
What's that?
Don't spray water on that ice, on that door. You're trying to wash it away. Unless the temperature is above 40, do not spray that thing down.
I would never do that. I don't even have the hoses hooked up.
Good. We should be okay tonight because it's not supposed to get down to freezing even. So as long as that happens, we'll be okay. Did you hear the report about possibility of more snow?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I made a comment on the page as you were saying that.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
With the snow talk.
Unless you stay up and watch it happening, I don't think you're going to have to worry about seeing it. Because
no, I'm not. I'm not staying up. I mean, I slept good last night, but up early every morning to help you get things started.
I appreciate it.
And monitoring. So, but if anybody has any information on any of the roads, if they're out and about or been out and about, let's just say, please leave a comment or give us a call and let us know.
You want to hear a dummy one before you go?
Yes.
Cool story out of Northern California, Dateline Petaluma. A car loaded with 6 men pulls up to a jewelry store. The men jump from their car and they run inside to commit another smash and grab robbery. Problem for them, they left the keys in their getaway car. A bystander, I wish I could have been him. He sees what's going down. He jumps into the unattended car and he drove it into the store's entryway.
Oh my gosh.
He said he was
that I didn't see.
He was trying to stop the robbers and keep the good people in the store safe. He did both. The only injury, one of the robbers maced the Good Samaritan when he was escaping. Four of the 6 got away. 2 were captured by police and with their canine partners. Had a helicopter up and the canines went out. They found 2 of the guys. So 4 got away. The getaway car, go figure, was stolen. It had been stolen earlier. Police think the 4 have already left the area. Good chance that one or both of the 18-year-old punk would-be bad guys. They probably have spilled their guts already as to who the other people are.
I'm sure.
In Petaluma, California. Oh, golly, Moses.
West California.
It is California.
It's California.
Northern California.
You were talking about Don Lemon earlier. He appeared on the Grammys. Oh, and that's a whole nother thing. I know you didn't watch the Grammy Awards Sunday night.
Of course not.
I did not watch them. I just watched the red carpet because I wanted to see the outfit.
Oh, I'm sure.
And as usual, they were trashy and just
well, that's why people watch it.
And I just had to. I just wanted to see the outfits. I mean, these women now are wearing these see-through, lacy, nude type things. You can see everything they have.
And sometimes they don't have anything to worth watching.
And one guy came out wearing a pair of silk pajamas.
Bless his heart.
It's just ridiculous. But I didn't watch them because I knew it was going to be bad. And I just saw little clips here and there. Made it all political. And Bad Bunny, y'all's halftime show for the Super Bowl. Of course, he had to get up there and talk about, ice out and make his political statements. And then there were several other Grammy winners that used the F word about ICE. And that's why Hollywood is going down the tubes.
It is going down the tubes. It's awful. It's kind of stupid.
It's horrible.
I don't know. It's.
And then Jimmy Kimmel had Don Lemon on the show last night, just idolizing him. And I'm like,
why?
I didn't watch it because of, his arrest. And I guess he's all famous now, because his arrest. He's such a jerk.
He is a jerk. He's always been a jerk.
Yes, he is. Yes, definitely.
All these people that gave him so much credit, he was a nothing.
Yeah, yeah. I never was a fan of his anyway. Not after the Ferguson riots when he was out there in the street promoting it, and I was like, nope, done. But anyway,
Well, here's the interesting. Looks Trump's not going to let his the federal officers render assistance with protesters, gangs, or most anything else unless the local leaders of cities or counties or states request Department of Homeland Security nicely.
I don't blame them. Well, you know, we've had ICE in North Carolina, right?
Yes, we have.
Did you see any riots?
No.
We had ICE in Florida. They've been in so many of the states. Do you see any of these other states rioting? No, it's only the blue states. It's ridiculous.
For way too long during the first year of Trump's second term, this is what's weird. Protesters have had the upper hand in mostly so-called blue areas protesting, and no, it was not particularly peaceful because ICE and other federal lawmen were apprehending criminal elements of society.
Right.
Y'all can argue until you're blue in the face. You can even become a sovereign citizen, and you can tell the cops that they can't arrest you for violating traffic laws, that you have the constitutional right to travel, and you don't need a driver's license. But
don't get me started.
But those who have no right to enter the United States without the permission of immigration authorities are breaking the law when they sneak in or just don't leave when their legal authority to be here expires, and that, folks, makes them criminals. They are criminals,
exactly.
Just like not having a driver's license on you and refusing to get out of the car when you're ordered to do so. That makes you a criminal. Done.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you see anybody protesting and rioting when Lincoln Riley got murdered by an illegal?
No,
and
not
some
one.
of these others how about that young 11, 12-year-old that was raped and murdered and thrown underneath a bridge?
Nope.
Did anybody riot?
The same number of people riot and protest those kinds of events as protest a police officer when he is shot dead.
Right.
You never see anybody out there marching in the streets, save our police, police lives matter, blue lives matter, we don't see any of that when cops get killed in the line of duty.
No.
Oh, that's what they get paid for. They put their lives out there on the line. And well, you know what? If you want to go by that mentality, which some people do, then every bad guy, he's working. He puts his life on the line every time he breaks into a man's house. Every time he tries to commit a robbery, his life is on the line. So you get out there and you commit crimes like, I don't know, who was it? Michael Brown?
Yes.
He was committing crimes. He was trying to take a gun away from a police officer, and he got killed. What would have happened? There were protests, there were still protests. What would have happened had this big brute of a man, and he was a big man, had managed to overpower that police officer and get that cop's gun? What do you think he would have done? He would have killed the cop. Now, do you think there would have been any protests about that poor cop being killed?
No, not at all.
Not one. I've been to a lot of police funerals, unfortunately. I've been to those funerals. There's never been a protest out there protesting. There have been some people in North Carolina would line the streets and, in honor of the passing motorcades. I've seen that happen. I've never seen them protest against the thugs down at the jailhouse who were arrested for killing him. Not once have I seen that happen.
Well, here's a deputy in Tennessee, Weakley County, Tennessee, on January 30th. He was fatally shot while investigating the disturbance at a hotel.
Yeah.
And Gwinnett County, Georgia, February 1st. Police officer was killed, another injured in a shooting at a hotel. Nassau County, New York, January 31st. A police officer was killed in a car crash involving a suspected intoxicated driver.
Anybody out there protesting their deaths?
No,
calling for justice?
None at all. None at all.
Then you guys who are protesting non-peacefully, you're pukes. I support, unfortunately, I have to support your right to peacefully protest,
Exactly.
but I'm not going to get out there with you. I support it
No.
only because it's legal for you to do so. But when
But
you,
some of the people in Minneapolis, they're out there every single day in sub-degree temperatures protesting, dressed like pickles and
Good.
dinosaurs and cats and dogs. What's the purpose?
I would still, we have fire departments. We have fire departments from other areas. The federal government, don't they have firefighters with fire trucks somewhere? Oh, yeah. At every base there is. Bring a fire truck with a 2.5-inch line and spray water straight up in the air on these sub-freezing days and let it rain on those protesters.
Ice will have a whole new meaning.
Oh, yeah. Icicles is what we call them. They can't run nearly as fast to get away either.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I know last night they had a big memorial for Alex Pretty there in Minneapolis, right there in front of the building with housing the ICE. And once again, dressed up like pickles and dinosaurs and all sorts of weird outfits. I'm like, none of that even makes sense.
You know why this earth has not been invaded by aliens?
Why?
Because they have come here, they've examined the people who are here, and they say, ain't no way.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no way. We don't want any part of that.
Right.
That's why.
One of our listeners just said, doesn't seem like equal argument because those people go to jail. I don't understand that. Don't understand what he just said.
I don't either. What people go to jail?
I know, no. I'm not sure which side he's talking on, but him, her.
I'm gonna. But maybe he or him or her, them will explain it. But I will have to take away from that if I can try to read other people's minds, which I do from time to time. Maybe he's saying, well, the guy that kills the cops going to go to jail. Not always. The guys that the cops kill. The cops don't generally go to jail. That's because they're not breaking the law when they do it.
Well, that's like the news story you were talking about earlier. I caught bits and pieces where the guy that shot somebody was let loose and told not to shoot anybody again until he goes to court, or what was that?
Well, he was down in Alabama. He's charged with killing an 18-year-old cheerleader, high school cheerleader, at a bonfire after hours party or whatever. You know how they have bonfires and whatever's like they used to do. Anyway, they were having a big party there and had a big bonfire going. And he comes in there after midnight, whatever, brought a gun. Why? Don't know. Tell me why the idiot Pettit brought a gun. Pretty brought a gun. Because he could? Yeah, probably. But he brings a gun to a party. And he kills the girl. He wounds 3 others. He's charged with murder and 3 counts of attempted murder. And a judge, that was back in November, I think, but the judge releases him under $330,000 bond. They said the bond. He changed the bond from no bond to $330,000, and the guy somehow he found somebody to pay the bond or pay the bonding fee or whatever, and they cut him loose. So
absolutely ridiculous.
And he was ordered to wear a house, a monitor on his ankle. How many times do bad people keep those monitors on? How many times do the police have to go, the parole officers have to go looking for them because they find their monitor left behind? That's a violation of the law. But guess what? He's a criminal. He's a murderer. He's an accused murderer. But you think he's going to abide by any laws? He hasn't so far. What makes you think he's going to do it now?
I don't know. Well, look, we just had another arrest here in Jacksonville yesterday for a 19-year-old Jacksonville man. He was arrested on multiple indecent exposure charges. He went into the Cookout restaurant located in South Marine Boulevard and exposed himself in the presence of 2 juveniles. What is it with the nakedness around Jacksonville lately?
What is it with the nakedness when it's as cold as it is around Jacksonville lately? I'm sorry, people.
Jacksonville police arrested Anthony Gerald Baldwin Jr. yesterday. He faces 2 counts of felony indecent exposure involving a minor and 1 count of misdemeanor indecent exposure. And this was inside a restaurant here in Jacksonville.
And what kind of restaurant was it?
The Cookout on 17 South, South Marine Boulevard.
Fast food. They serve hot dogs and hamburgers.
Yeah, Rafer, don't go there.
I didn't go anywhere. I'm just asking you. That's the kind of restaurant, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Baldwin, Baldwin.
Yes.
First name is Anthony, right?
Anthony. Let me check it. I think it was Anthony Gerald or Gerald Anthony. Let me bring
Gerald
it
was
back up
the
again.
middle name, I think. How old was he? Is he?
19. Yes. Yes. Anthony Gerald Baldwin. All common spelling.
Well, he's got no arrest record, or no convictions in North Carolina, felony convictions. Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking. I always like to check those things. I think I'd probably want to, after treat him for frostbite, but then I'd probably want to take him to what?
I knew you wouldn't be able to help yourself.
Not at all. Not even close. Not even close.
Oh my gosh.
Bud, Anthony, maybe he was just looking for a place to get warm, so he went to Cookout. Maybe his clothes.
So much I could say here, but I'm not.
Maybe his clothes had been stolen. Maybe he went to sleep somewhere and somebody took his clothes or whatever. I don't know. You never can tell what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sure. And other news: Bill and Hillary Clinton are now agreeing to testify.
Well, it's either that or go to jail.
Yeah, they need it. I can't wait to watch that. They're now agreeing to testify before Congress.
Yeah, I might like to watch that too. I never did anything with anybody in my life, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yes. Let me see. The House could end up considering the contempt resolutions later this week. That's where they refuse to come in. But I'm anxious to see when this is going to be scheduled, because I'm definitely going to watch that one.
Yeah, it'd be fun to send the federal marshals to pick them up, wouldn't it?
Man.
That would be.
They're actually, I'm sure they've had enough time to get their stories straight. So.
All right, you got the information about the trash pickups for Jacksonville?
Yes, and I put it on our comments.
Very good. Thank you.
So, when was mine again? Wednesday?
What day is
Wednesday.
when do you normally have yours
Monday.
picked up?
Yeah, Monday to Wednesday.
Yours will be Monday. If you pick up on Monday, you'll pick it up tomorrow. If it's
Friday.
If it's today, it's going to be picked up on Friday. Thursday's pickups will be on Thursday.
Right.
So one out of three, they got just keeping it the same days.
And on social media, I've seen so many people complaining about their trash not being picked up. Seriously.
If that's all you got to complain about? Good golly, Miss Barley.
Oh, and another thing, let me open a can of worms. Complaining about mail not being delivered. Well, you know what? Those vehicles have to travel the same icy roads as everybody else. So you'll get your mail soon. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to I'm just going to go out on a limb. If you're in need of your mail, go to the post office where your mail is kept. And,
Amen.
And then go ask them to, you want to pick it up at the window and see if they give it to you.
Well, let me tell you, Dave, back in 1989, I was station manager of a small office over there when we had it behind Northwood Shopping Center. And, of course, you know how bad it snowed. And the next day, people were calling like, are we getting our mail? No, there's 2 feet of snow out on the roads, And they were like, well, what about that model rain, sleet, snow, or hell? And I was like, it's not actually the post office's model, but, no, we're not coming out, but you're welcome to come down here and pick it up. And you know what I was being told? Why would I go out in that weather?
That's right.
I mean, come on, seriously. If
it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
We got our beautiful snow, as treacherous as it may be. No more snow, please. We'll get through this. After today, we should be fine as far as traveling. And you know what? the world continues. Tomorrow's going to be tomorrow, and the day after, we're fine.
No more snow.
Yeah.
That's
I
my
was like, stop with the snow talk when you were giving that earlier.
yeah. Anyway, I got all the stuff that had to be gotten out.
Yes, you did.
Just chill. People, just go sit down and do like I did last night. I built a fire in the fireplace. You know how much warmth that put in this house?
Sure.
Holy moly. I built it up and, had some big heavy duty coals after all the wood burned down. And I left the front of it open until about 1 o'clock when I went to bed. It was still much warmer coming out of there than it was in the rest of the house, that whole area. I just opened the doors everywhere and let the warmth go, and it warmed up the bedroom even.
Right. Well, our electric companies have been urging people to cut back a little bit over the last couple of days, which I did. I followed it, and I cut back.
Put some clothes on.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, put some clothes on. Quit being naked. Put some clothes on.
No, I'll leave that to Gerald and all the others
No, I'm
out there.
not you. I'm talking about people out there. Just put some clothes on. You got some warm clothes. You don't have to put on, freezing weather clothes unless you don't have any heat. But,
hey,
put
the
some
electric
clothes
bill
on.
is going to be bad enough.
That's the scary part. You're not going to be able to afford, anything else. You're going to have to be naked all summer.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I didn't wash clothes yesterday or the dishes, and I turned the thermostat down. So, not that I had anything to wash, because I did all that before the storm hit. I washed all the clothes, blankets, everything, got everything ready, so I wouldn't have to worry about it during the storm.
I'm thinking back about that stuff I was going over with about Trump and send federal cops. They're not going to send assistance voluntarily. They're going to be until they're asked. They're not going to volunteer to go into help people in other cities and states when they're having problems with rioting, unless they're called. If they're asked, they're going to go.
Right.
But I would find, would you go if you were in that kind of a situation? Would you go to just volunteer to help your neighbor down the street or something like that? If all they did was blast you every time you went in? No, I wouldn't go in. You're on your own, buddy. I don't. Now, if you call me to ask me to help you, I will come and I'll still help you. Because I'm a better man than you apparently are, is the way I would look at it and tell them. But think about this. These guys, Minnesota's governor and the mayor of Minneapolis, they both encouraged residents to protest the mere presence of ICE when they showed up to arrest bad guys. Right?
Right.
The lawbreakers even encouraged the protesters to get in the face of ICE cops and to interfere with their duties while they tried to arrest people.
Right.
That's not going to happen. Trump's orders, no federal assistance will be rendered unless the official request comes from the top dog. Can you see the mayor of Minneapolis, Mr. Fry or whatever he calls himself, or Mr. Governor? Can you see them actually calling Donald Trump and having to eat crow? Listen, we got a problem here. Can you help us out? Well, yes, he will. That won't be a problem. But now, what would I do if I was in Trump's shoes? And even though I would not look too cool with orange hair, I'd station today all of those agents. How many agents are in Minneapolis? 6,000, 5,000, 3,000, whatever, 3,000, I think. I would take every one of those guys out of Minneapolis and I would put them on every road leading into and out of the state of Minnesota. And I would be checking people coming and going before they even got there. If you want to be and stay in Minnesota and do all the bad stuff, well, guess what? You're not going to be visiting your Aunt Sally down there in Mexico City. You're going to be stuck right where you are, because when you leave, you're going to jail.
Well,
how would that suit them?
Have you seen New York City lately with all the protesting down there?
Yeah.
They have trashed that.
The mayor's having some concerns.
And not only have they trashed it, but, of course, they got hit with snow bad too. But the whole city is trash.
Well,
What's the mayor doing?
well, he's like, people are going out saying, well, wait a minute now. You're not doing what you said you were going to do. This is not looking good for us. Well, actually, he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. He
Right.
was going to be a socialist communist. Wait and
Right.
see. I don't know that he will make it through his full term without being removed or resigning.
Well, I don't know. They'll probably keep him there and vote him back in.
I don't know. I don't think he's what they thought he was going to be.
Right.
Or maybe he is exactly what he said he was going to be. I can tell you that. All right, let's do a little. I'm going to do a little bit of weather.
Okay. You go ahead and do that
I
weather.
appreciate you calling in.
All right. Well,
do
I
you
will
need
see
me to
you in
send
the
a
morning.
you need me to send a ride or Uber or something like that for tomorrow morning? How about I bet you I can find somebody with a maybe one of the guys that's flying the Hueys. You don't want a 53 landing on the street out there, do you?
I've got 4-wheel drive, and I think the snow and the ice will be pretty much the roads will be clear in the morning.
So many times.
Yeah.
I got
But,
4-wheel drive.
I don't mind driving on the snow. It's the ice
You got
and the crazy people.
when
We
you,
had some kid in our neighborhood doing donuts.
oh yeah, they're
and wrecked. And then we've had some of these 4-wheelers and golf carts up and down the road driving crazy.
well in Oslo County.
I'm
There's
like,
been over 100
Yes,
situations with cars and
right.
trucks and whatever. A lot of those are 4-wheel drives. Now these are 4-wheel slip and slide, is not 4-wheel drive. Because when you've got that, all 4 brakes lock up at the same time. And
Yep.
Son, you lose a lot of ability to control where you're going. So
Well, Sand Ridge Road over there in Hubert is really super bad. And yesterday they were showing pictures of pickup trucks, 4-wheel drive in the ditch. So
yep, I've seen them.
anyway, well, go do the weather because I know there's some other people that'll be calling. So
All right.
I'll be standing by.
Thank you. 910-333-0139, 910-333-0139. The marine forecast. Okay, guys, I know there's no ice on the water out there, not right now. It's looking better now that old nor'easter is moving away. Westerly winds today up to 20 miles offshore, 5 to 10 knots, becoming southwesterly 10 to 15 this afternoon. Seas 2 to 4 feet, 13 seconds apart. 2 to 4, and they're 13 seconds apart. That's just nice, easy ride. Now, if I had my boat down in the water right now, that would be a thing that I could do to go recreate myself instead of driving and dodging cars. You get out there and just imagine hitting the ocean right now with 2 to 4 foot swells, and you got a 30-foot boat or whatever, and those waves are 13 seconds apart. They're gentle rollers. My. Sounds and rivers, a light chop, and becoming a moderate chop later in the afternoon tomorrow. 10 to 15 knot winds out of the west, seas 3 to 5, 2 to 4 near shore, sounds and rivers, a moderate chop Thursday. Do it today or tomorrow. Don't do it Thursday. Northerly winds on Thursday, 15 to 20, gust to 25, seas 4 to 6, 2 to 4 near shore, sounds and rivers choppy. Now, we got some light, misty-looking clouds out there, but nothing serious yet. We're going to have more clouds today. They will be building. High going to be 47. Right now, we're up to 18 degrees here at the studio. Still pretty chilly out here. It was 11 this morning at 5:30. Mostly light southwesterly winds, only 5 miles per hour this afternoon. Southwesterly wind should bring on some warmer temperatures. Tonight, a chance of rain and sleet. No, I'm sorry, a chance of rain after 1 a.m., mostly cloudy, with a low around 35 to 40. Depends upon where you are in eastern North Carolina. 50% chance of a little bit of rain. Wednesday, rain. High near 47-ish. Light and variable wind becoming westerly around 6 in the morning. Chance of rain, 80% tomorrow. So that's the good news as far as I'm concerned. Hopefully with warmer temperatures, that nasty old white mist out there will just disappear, go away. Tomorrow night now, rain likely before 1 o'clock in the morning. Then there's going to be a chance of rain, maybe some freezing rain between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. Hopefully I'll be asleep and I will miss every bit of it. Then a chance of snow and freezing rain after 4 a.m. I wish I could be asleep then. Cloudy, a low around 27. That's not going to last too long because Thursday, it will get up to Thursday morning. There's only a 30% chance of some kind of snow before 7 o'clock, then partly sunny after that. So there won't be anything coming down if it's sunny, and the high reaches 40. So whatever came down hopefully will melt before it hangs around, and definitely after the sun gets up and warms things up. Okay, that's a look at the weather. 910-333-0139. Number to call. Give us a ring-a-dingy so we can have a chat. Again, the curfew for those unincorporated areas, that was a discussion yesterday I heard of Onslow County. They're over. The curfew has been lifted. There's nothing happening that they need to be worried. People need to be worried about. Your trash pickup in the city of Jacksonville. If the city picks up your trash, if your collection day was today, if your collection day was normally on Monday, yesterday, your trash will be picked up tomorrow. Nothing's working today. If your regular day is today, Tuesdays, your pickup will be on Friday. This is coming Friday. Thursday, the people who have trash pickup on Thursday, their trash pickup will remain Thursday. They won't change. So that's the only thing. But please, with the snow and stuff, some of it mounted up alongside the edge of the road, and especially for you guys for pickup tomorrow, don't know how much of that snow will be gone when the trash trucks come by, but do not park your trash cans in the road on the pavement. Even if there's snow covering that pavement, you know where it is. Don't park your trash can where the pavement, you might not be able to see it when you pull it out there, but you know where it is. Park it on your grass or in your driveway or somewhere else close to the road. The trucks may not be able to reach it with their big arm to pick it up, but they have crews this time around. They'll wheel it out and throw it into the truck. So just don't park it in what could become a travel lane by tomorrow morning if the ice is gone or they manage to get it all scraped out. Okay, let's see what else we got here. 910-333-0139. You want to chat? Bring it on down. Let's go back in time a little bit. It was this date, and the year was, I forgot, is in the 60s, was it? Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper. They were in a plane crash, and all three of them died. They were rock stars, rising rock stars, killed when their chartered Beechcraft Bonanza plane crashed in Iowa a few minutes after taking off from Mason City on a flight for Moorhead, Minnesota. Investigators blame the crash on bad weather and pilot error. Yeah, the weather was pretty nasty up there, so that happened, and the date was, I think it was late 50s or sometime in the early 60s. Okay. We have a caller. Good morning. You're live and local.
Good morning, my friend.
Hello.
How are you?
Chris, I'm hanging in here fine.
You're doing a great job. Solo, by the way.
Solo. I got a dog over here doesn't think so.
There's Shockwave. And tell Shockwave to jump in my chair. And he likes it sometimes. Most of the time when I'm up there petting him. But it's just interesting the story you're talking about now and the airplane crash that lost so many talented. We've had a lot of musicians who were stars or on their way to stardom. I know Jim Croce probably has gone down as one of the best folk singers and this beautiful written songs. He went down in a plane crash.
Yep.
And it's sad these players, these stars, have to get from point A to point B in such a quick time. The band members, they're traveling by bus with trucks and gears and stuff to get everything set up. And the stars, quote, the stars of the show, who are the stars, but obviously people behind the scenes, sometimes they forget about them too.
Yes.
But
And the funny thing was in this particular crash, one of the guys, I think it was Ricky, he was the young guy. He was just an up and
Yep.
comer, and he had a big song out, La Bamba, was it? I think at the time,
Yeah.
that was out and doing very well. And he was, he was going to be touring, going along the same route, but their plane or transportation or whatever got changed at the last minute, and a seat opened up on this plane. Whoever
Yep.
was supposed to be on there decided no.
Yeah.
And then he got aboard. He thought it would be, hey, I can get there. I can fly this plane. Yes,
Mhm.
it was awful weather. Awful weather. Richie Valens is his name.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember John Denver.
Yeah.
John was flying his own plane.
Yeah, experimental plane or something he built himself, I think.
Experimental. Yep, and that was a great talent.
Yes, it was.
Lost, and I think overall people will consider flying as still a very safe way to travel versus roads, especially as we see these people traveling roads right now. And
well, it's safer today because we've got people that are a little bit smarter about when not to fly. Now, that's not going to stop the situations with planes that have issues. But the air traffic controllers and other folks who are more experienced, and they say, no, y'all don't need to be going. We're not going to let you go, or you should not be, yada, yada, yada. So,
I think the air traffic controllers, and I know they get bum raps all the way back to President Reagan and some of the other issues, but the things they're having to do, I remember, I don't know, a couple of days ago,
mm-hmm.
an air traffic controller had stopped what was going to be a very bad collision because a Southwest plane was taking off, another plane was landing on the same.
Oh yeah,
Fantastic! You remember that? And he called off Southwest, who was getting ready for takeoff, and I guess they just slammed the brakes on and went, "Okay, we're not going yet."
Yep.
The amount of traffic those people are responsible for at any one moment.
Their burnout rate's fairly high, and their stress factor is like you wouldn't believe. I had a classmate from Jacksonville High. We were in school together, and we actually did a little bit of diving together back in the day. And he became an air traffic controller. He was a licensed pilot even when he was in high school, and that was my first time in an airplane. He didn't even have his driver's license yet, but he had his pilot's license. He was old enough to get his driver's license, but he was studying for his pilot's license, and he soloed before he got his driver's license. And I flew with him in the wintertime. But he said that the air traffic control stuff, he said, that is, wow. I can just imagine, I've worked the desk before we had 911 dispatchers at the police department.
Yeah.
And the police officers ran they had somebody assigned to work the desk, and usually it was somebody who wasn't feeling well for the evening or whatever. And so we worked the desk and just trying to take the calls from two officers, maybe walkie-talkies, walking patrol, and 3 cars with radios in them, and just trying to do that and take the phone calls. Holy mackerel!
And for those that don't believe these people are trained, they're trained very well.
Yeah.
But
a lot of them are pilots themselves, like private pilots. So they got a working knowledge of what's going on up there.
Yeah, well, I'll share my first experience was with Rex Kennedy. Kennedy Olds. He wanted to fly myself and another person to Greenville to bring a car back, and I was in the back part of the plane of the 3-seater, and he picked a day where the winds were at 30 knots or something like that. was a very comfortable ride. And everything was good. Yeah.
I know.
And everything was fine except to the descent. And I doubt the plane's still around, but if it is, it still has my fingerprints in the seat. But that was the first one. Then I started getting flying on jets, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a piece of cake.
Yeah.
And I think that what they say is the worst. The two hardest parts are takeoff and landing.
Yep.
That's the time you got to be worried about.
Yeah.
But
did that guy really put some fuel in his plane as I'm taking off, or did the air full? One of my really good friends and a dive buddy, he's a pilot until he retired, at mandatory age, whatever it was, 61 or something. From, I think he was flying U.S. Air then. It was Piedmont he started with. I don't think it had become American when he retired. But anyway, I was going somewhere, and I didn't know he was. He was doing the connecting flight. He was in Charlotte, and he was going to be flying to probably Miami or Atlanta, wherever. It would have been going to Miami. I was flying to U.S. Air. So he was in Charlotte. I didn't know he was going to be the pilot. And I getting off the one airplane to get on the other plane that's right next door to it. And I see Larry sitting out there, and he's kicking the tires, and he's going up and looking under the wings, and he's doing, he's looking, he was a Vietnam combat Army guy, but he wasn't a pilot, but he's out there doing all of this stuff. And I said, you're the pilot. When I got on the plane, and then he's on there, and I found out he was the pilot, and on that plane that I was going to be flying to Miami on. So he comes back, and we chat for a minute. And he says, I say, you kicking your own tires? What is this? Do you have a concern? He says, my butt's in the air just like yours is. Okay.
Wow.
I want to know that this plane is in good shape before I leave from here.
Yeah, well, I remember those days seeing the pilots doing that. And now they have you blocked off so much that you can't see. And I'm sure the pilots they're checking underneath the wings. They're checking the wings. They're checking under the belly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious. There was a news story last night about some guy that probably has some kind of issue upstairs climbing on top of a jet and running the length. He ran the length of the jet before they talked him down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just start the engines and take off. He'll get out.
Yeah, well.
He will look for a way to get off that airplane by the time you fire those engines up. That's my thought. Whatever.
Now, I haven't had a chance to check. I know you're handling the waters and, of course, the local weather, but see that there's a slight chance of some wintry mix tomorrow night into early Thursday morning. Not to amount to much, but there is that chance. And of course, I know they're still continuing to talk about the black ice, and that's what scares me is people even riding the roads, clearing the roads, or they think they're clearing the roads in their four-wheel drives, leaving black ice.
You're just packing the snow down, and it compresses it, and that's one of the things you can do when you're making ice. If you compress, loose stuff together real tight, it becomes frozen really, really hard when you keep it under cold conditions. It freezes faster when there's no air in it. That's what you're doing. You're just pushing all the air out.
Well, I hope everyone continues to be safe and careful. I know the county and the schools are being extremely safe. We try to commend them for that.
Have to.
And I hope you and Robbie are staying safe. I know Lee is.
Yep.
And I'm sure that the Ham Radio Club is continuing to have discussions that don't get the appreciation and the help from you folks. Know that you're doing a good job getting the reports from everywhere else so people know where not to go, which is pretty much everywhere right now for the most part.
Yeah, we pass it among ourselves, no problem. And, If there are any issues that need to be discussed, we bring them up, and we've got people monitoring pretty much around the clock, different people. I don't always keep my radios on during the day. Well, they are down here, but I actually carry one of the portables with me for the last few days when I'm not down in the shack here. So I always got one with me.
Oh, I'm sure. I know you do. Just make sure you get some rest too. Okay.
I probably am going to take a nap this morning. I got to figure out what I'll eat for breakfast this morning. So maybe some sausage biscuits. I got some sausage in there, and I got some biscuits. I like sausage biscuits with grape jelly on them. Yum.
That does sound good. But I just finished my normal, everyday, boring breakfast. So I do have
Cheerios.
One lady that would like to. Cheerios, strawberries, blueberries, and bananas and apples. So I have a young lady that wants to tell you a real quick, if you have time, story on her ex-brother-in-law who was a something. So he's somebody, so I'll listen in, and you have a blessed day. I'll see you soon, Rayford. Hold on.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. I made it all the way down to the mailbox and back without having any incidents. And no squirrels laughing at me, no nothing.
Oh, you're tempting fate.
It was safe. I followed Chris's footsteps down. Yeah, but we got a lawn job done last night, so he's gonna have to fix that up. But no, I wanted to mention even our military air traffic controllers. They are on very, very, very strict guidelines as to how many hours they're allowed to be up there in the tower, and then they make them get down, and they make them take off for 12 hours to just recuperate and everything else, because at Cherry Point the flights are going in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. But my brother-in-law, he got to the point where they got short-handed, and so he had to stay up there for 12 hours at many shifts. And so they kind of got really upset with that, and they grounded him and sent him to Bogue Field.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. And like nothing happens at Bogue Field except all the Marines there get in trouble.
Oh,
and if
really?
they're not already in trouble. Oh, my gosh, yes.
Really?
Oh, my gosh, Rayford, yes. He got, as a matter of fact, that's where he got kicked out from, was Bogue Field.
Oh, my God. Kicked out of Bogue Field.
Kicked out of the Marine Corps by being at Bogue Field. Yes, him and some of his buddies got into the growing of certain, and doing all that stuff that they shouldn't be doing, and it was like a party base at the time. But everybody said that's where they sent all the rejects now. So I don't know. I haven't been to Bogue Field in so long, but it was kind of a funny story with him. He was a great air traffic controller until they sent him to Bogue Field. And I don't know if that was just to recuperate, but if that was the recuperation, let me tell you, he took it a whole different way. But he went to school up there in Tennessee for it, and he was there for 6 months in training. But he loved his job. But he said that when they were doing training maneuvers, that those flights were coming in and out and in and out. And he said, and it was just absolutely horrific. Yes. Sometimes you just couldn't keep track for the most part. It always took two people, one saying who's coming in, who's going out. Okay, I got this one, I got that one, So, but yeah, he said it was amazing. But I just wanted to share that even our military, they have it tough too.
Oh, they do. Air traffic control is air traffic control, and I can just imagine. Wow, I can't imagine being a place, especially where you've got short takeoff, which is what they've got there at Bogue, and lots of things like Ospreys and other helicopter type things, up and down, up and down. These guys kind of fly. It's kind of like herding cats, I would imagine.
Yeah. When I was stationed in Hawaii, that was probably one of the shortest runways I had ever seen in my life. Because they take off when they land. There's a safety net that they have to put up, because if that is not up, they go into the water. And our XO went to Okinawa to get himself, and he took a staff NCO with him. They went to Okinawa to buy his wife a wedding anniversary gift. And when they came back in for the landing, the plane broke through the band, the net, and we lost them. We lost them. We lost both of them because that plane just takes a nosedive right into the water. So it's bad. It's a bad thing. And then the air traffic controllers, there's nothing they can do.
Nope.
You've got crash crew on the ground. There's nothing they can do when that rubber band snaps except start moving out there. But when it goes into the water, there's just not a whole lot you can really do at that point.
Nope.
But these planes were hitting dodo birds up there in the air, which I had never heard of a dodo bird. I had to look that one up. Yeah, they are. They call them dodo, I guess, because they're dumb. They're the stupidest birds in the world. They fly into the engine, the propellers. Why? Nobody knows, and it causes these planes to have to make emergency landings because they ruin a belt or a pan or something in there. But yeah, it's amazing what these air traffic controllers have to do, to get these planes in there safely. And then it's a horrific situation when they lose them too, because they feel responsible, but yet they can't control the speed of the plane coming in, and they can't control how well that net is going to stand up. So. And they can't extend the runway because it's in the water. So it's
it's kind of like an aircraft carrier. When you run out of deck, there's only one thing to do.
That's right. Jump in and do the polar bear swim.
Pretty much. Taking off, or actually landing, or taking off is a problem, but landing on an aircraft carrier is it's an interesting thing because they land, and the first thing they do, of course, you got the retracting cables there, right? And you hope you'll catch one, but apparently there's, like it was the first time I landed, you missed all of them, and then because they didn't explain that to me before what was going to happen or what could happen. Next thing I know, I hear as we touch down, you hear the wheels. And then the wheels are still going, and then you hear the engine rev up immediately as soon as the plane touches down. It's instantaneously because they put it full throttle. Why? In case you miss the stupid cables. And then the plane has got enough speed to continue going and take off at the end of the boat. And that's what we did. The first time we did, the next thing I knew, we were sinking. I said, oh, my Lord, I'm going to be swimming. You go off the deck and you just sink a little bit, and then you come on out around, and then that pucker factor was playing real big.
See, but when they do that, it just scares me to death. I want to go to the Canary Islands so bad. My mother said it was beautiful. She said the problem is you have to go when you get to the landing, the airport of that end. You have to go straight up. To get to the top of this mountain. Yep. And then you have to come straight back down and then hit that runway.
There's another one. There's another island out there in the Caribbean just like that. And they have to go over the hill to come down, and they are coming straight down virtually.
Yes, sir.
It's not a 5 mile approach.
No, it's not. And that's what she was scared of. She was scared. She wanted to stay. She said, you're going to have to find another way to get me home. And my father was like, there is no other way.
Swim.
You're either going to have to stay here or you're going to have to get on that plane. She goes, oh, my God, I'm just so scared. And he said, they gave her something for nausea. He gave her, they took first class, so they gave her a stiff drink. And when that plane took off, she said she felt like it was going 1 billion miles an hour to make it up to that top of that mountain and then back down. She said she lost her stomach, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he was on that same flight. He played on The Odd Couple. He wasn't the slob.
Okay.
Who was the other guy?
Yeah, I know.
Oscar and Felix. It was Felix. Yeah. He was on that plane, and she said she felt so embarrassed. She said that was the worst part of it. She said not everything else, but getting sick in front of him. She said that was the worst part. But
he was probably sick too.
Yeah, he just didn't show it. He figured somebody was going to throw up, and it was going to be somebody else but him. But But yeah, I don't want to go anywhere to any islands that have to go up and straight down.
Yeah,
I will bypass those.
here's an interesting way. Those islands that you have to take off, or any place you have to take off short, or where it's going to be a short run. They load you with enough fuel plus enough reserve, but they do not top you off because fuel is heavy.
No.
They also will definitely not overload the plane. They count luggage. Now, your luggage might get left behind if this plane feels a little bit overweighted. So they're pretty serious about it when they're landing and taking off from there. And you don't want a rookie pilot doing it either. Ooh.
No, I don't know if you remember the days back when over here at OAJ when they were just using those little prop planes.
Yep.
Get us to up to Charlotte,
yep.
And they had to move Marines around to balance the plane out.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, crap.
Well, they still kind of do that today. I mean, if they get on board and they find a 400-pounder on one side and a small plane, 400-pounder on one side can, okay. I mean, I've done that in a boat. I got to move people around in the boat from time to time. We use trim tabs.
Yeah. If you get a 400-pounder on the left side, you better find two 200-pounders on the left side, moving over to the right.
And balance them out.
I try. Or I'm going to jump out. I'll take the next flight. Thank you. But yeah, well, that was just. I just wanted to pop in and say good morning, everybody. And you guys have a great day and stay safe, Raver.
Always. We're just sitting here looking at the snow on the roof next door.
There you go.
Right.
So, okay, well, give Robbie my love, and you guys have a great day.
See you later. Be safe. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says federal investigators are uncovering a massive underground fraud network in Minneapolis. No kidding. That he suggested helped fuel a sudden coordinated push to drive ICE out of the city. Now we know what it was. I told you that at the beginning. It's a smokescreen. He said there's a massive fraud that's going on and all through Minneapolis. And in fact, they found out that it's spreading all through Minnesota. And then it turned almost on a dime, and it became suddenly all about ICE. So all the efforts, all the protests, everything else, ICE is here. Let's create a smokescreen. Now, if you think those dumb protesters created this on their own, no, they did not. This started way up high. It's the reason they had paid protesters. They had organizers out there. They had folks. There are folks out there who can organize a smokescreen. Marines, how many of you have ever thrown smoke? Not as a marker, but to hide a situation, to have some cover of darkness. If you've been in combat, particularly around areas where you needed to move around, I'm sure you've thrown some smoke out there, haven't you? Yeah. That's what this is. It was a smokescreen. It is a smokescreen. And it made it very tough to pay a lot of attention to this fraud that's been going on in Minnesota. See, that's what started all this mess in the first place. Timing to move in ICE, I don't know whether it was intentional or whether that was stupidity. If it was intentional, they go after them, and these departments, the FBI investigating the criminal activity over there. ICE is primarily the lead in going out to arrest the illegal aliens. Their paths may not have even crossed. Their bosses probably didn't even talk to each other. Doubt very seriously if there's any coordination between the two. I don't know. Maybe there was. Maybe the federal government, the ICE people wanted to do the same thing. We'll use all this fraud here as an opportunity to sneak in under the radar and to grab all of these illegals that are out here before the governor and everybody else knows what's happening. That would have been a good plan. Something went wrong. Not all good plans work. So who knows? Before it's all over with, I suspect we're going to find out a whole lot more about the activities there. And the problem is Congress is not going to want to investigate because it will just take forever and ever and ever to get her done. And I agree with them. I don't really care about the governor. I'll let the people in Minnesota take care of that. He's not running again. And I'm sure that the more this fraud that comes up, the more attention that the feds pay to the frauditors, and the more people that get arrested as a result of this fraud investigation, and the higher up that these people are, the more likely it is this governor wannabe is not going to be elected, because he's smack dab in the middle of all of it. That you can bet on. Why would they be so opposed to federal agents being in there? What do they have to gain by it? Either the people who are committing the fraud are involved in paying kickbacks to the higher ups, or if there's some other sinister reason. They're not doing it out of the goodness of their hearts, and you know it, and I know it. Okay, we will let you go. You let me go, and I'll be gone, and we'll be back tomorrow. I say we because we'll have Lee is pretty sure she will be out on the highways tomorrow. If not, my wife hopefully will join me again. She can join me anytime. She's, like I say, she's the smart one. And we will see you tomorrow morning beginning at 7 o'clock. Stay safe, stay off the roads. Let the crews out there get their jobs done so we can get back to some degree of being normal. You're live and local Real Talk, where seemingly I'm always awake, never woke. Have a great rest of your day, and please be safe.